exactly what's being done to the next generation of creators.
Bench talent, young talent, they don't get deals like this.
So they don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand.
That you then own.
Well, I own parts of it.
They don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
This dude got an actual recording of their comment. That's no. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Flag on the daggone play, man. I'm not messing around with you, Steven. This brother recorded the conversation, man. He said, I got receipts, bro. Don't try to sit there, Mr. Boring, Jeremy Boring, making up all that stuff about me. Oh, yeah? Oh, for real? Word? That's what we doing now? That's what we doing now? Oh, that's what we doing? Oh, okay. Y'all get the cameras together. Get the cameras together. Oh, I'm about to light him up. Get the cameras together. One, test my microphone. Two. Oh, man, he about to get it. Y'all ready? Make sure my gun right here look pretty. Y'all got the gun right here looking pretty? Okay, we about to go get it. Man, this dude got...
God bless the talk boy. Those things are worth like $5,000 now. It's an expensive gag. So didn't want to have to do this, but Daily Wire outed themselves very, very quickly. And sure enough, if you see all of the people who work there, some of whom I have relationships with, they immediately tried to make this all about money. Here's the problem. There are a few problems, and I'll go through with some receipts. Everything that was said about negotiations, how they transpired, beyond the numerical value, which is true and I'll get to, everything else is untrue. I don't really want to get into that. It's completely irrelevant. Here's why. Go back to the 20-something minute video, 30-minute video. You've never heard me say or write anywhere online that these offers weren't paying enough money. Why? Because it's not about the money. It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money. I'm talking about a country.
They're talking about money because money is what you cost them with your shenanigans. Your shenanigans, be it righteous or not. They're talking about money because they want to paint the picture to America as to how idiotic you are for not taking the contract. They're trying to paint you up to be this person who believe they're bigger than life and don't need them because I'm worth more. Because instead of him talking about 50 million, he kept saying that the contract will more than likely end up in the 75 to 100 million that they'll be spending. And he kept saying that. So, yeah, he was trying to make himself look good. Absolutely.
I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about making a difference. It's not about the money. And Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. How do I know they know that? Because after, according to what he said, I walked away from the offer. I did place one more call to the Daily Wire. And I made it very, very clear that it wasn't about money. That was not the topic of conversation. There was zero, as they've tried to portray this, miscommunication. It was one last call where the only thing that I asked for, my only demand, was their word, and not even for me, but for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts. Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, or 100,000. Let's say it's some other kid you're paying six figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
Wow. It was not about him. And we talked about that in our video. We talked about that. because that was what he gave off. He kept saying it. It wasn't about the money, because he can make a poop ton of money by himself through Mug Club and through everything he got going on right now. And the dude is doing extremely well. So he was saying it's not about the money. And plus, with all of the cuts, it's definitely not about the money, because if I sign on with him, it's not conducive to him being happy and not feeling stressed and feeling like he's able to do the right thing on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes when people go to work, they want to feel proud of what they do. But if he's feeling muzzled and he feel like he can't report the stories the way he want to report the stories, or do his acts the way he want to do his acts, that's way much more than money. But of course, they're going to paint it that way.
And here's something else. I was also very measured. I was painstakingly clear in taking myself off the table because it wasn't going to be a right fit. That happens in business all the time. But that we weren't talking about me. We were talking about the futures of other people who could potentially be in that position, that very disconcerting position. No miscommunication. What I'm talking about is you're describing a model for everyone, not just, let's get rid of me here. Everyone, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube, because your business model requires that be a huge component of it, you need to change your business model or this movement cannot work, Jeremy. I can't imagine my show trying to come up and be beholden to YouTube advertiser guidelines, let alone, I mean, honestly, being beholden from a conservative entity with hard strikes, right, being removed, but let alone being advertiser friendly. We know how broad those guidelines are. They might as well just read, don't say anything offensive, and they change them at the drop of a hat.
I'm not suggesting that the guidelines aren't terrible. I'm suggesting that if making money off of those platforms is part of how you're justifying the salary you're paying someone, then or the fee I keep saying salary, the fee you're paying someone, then when those go away, everybody loses money. You can't pay the same amount with less revenue.
How about you create a different business model? Now,
Now, to be fair, Jeremy said that on when he was talking about the entire contract. When he was breaking down the entire contract, he was saying, if we're not making money, we can't guarantee you money. Where's that money going to come from? So if someone says something or does something that's frowned upon on one of these platforms and they lose a great deal of money, no money's coming in from them, then we're not going to pay the money out. So from a business standpoint, I understand that part right there. But I see what Steven Crowder is talking about.
I know what some of you are thinking. Of course, telling someone else, hey, change your business model. I get it. I'm in no position to say that unless, instead of Monday morning quarterbacking it, here's the thing. I didn't just offer criticisms. I offered a guide on how to, here's the deal. I want to sit at the table with people who, granted, have an immense amount of power and have incredibly deep pockets. That is all true, to be clear. And by the way, it's something that I want to have on our side of the aisle. But I offered a guide on how to do it. It is incumbent, this is what this is about. It is incumbent upon conservatives, if we believe what we say, to uncouple, to divest, if you want to use that term, from big tech, right? For the business models of the movement as we move forward, to not rely on playing ball with Facebook and with YouTube. That is something that we have to move toward. You know that we've been trying to do that here for years. That's why every single show we say, hey, if you can watch on Rumble, please do so. We're not looking to be banned on YouTube, but we certainly won't compromise the truth in order to be advertiser friendly. Here's the thing, Daily Wire, Jeremy, and I really do hope that we can talk at some point. Please, you can pick up the phone. We've done that. We here have found a way to make that work. For proof, see election night, our numbers on Rumble there, and see the numbers on Rumble when we get suspended from YouTube. I think it was 4 times this last year. And I went to great lengths to communicate that to the people at Daily Wire. There can be no next me if the people at the top with the financial resources are doing the bidding. That's being the arm of big tech. What you just said is, well, we have to play ball with big tech if we want to make money. Well, I don't. Why don't you guys follow a model like I have and scale it? That's what I've been doing since 2014. You know that. Has been trying to make sure, which I thought we were all doing, that we can all flip the bird to Silicon Valley. This is saying we need him and you need to play ball.
Wow. This changes things because he told him to his face that you are the arm of big tech. And I've been working on a business model so that we not have to do that. He did not say so that I didn't have to do it. He's already doing it. He said he's been working on something that we can all use. This is bigger than we're looking at. Like Jeremy felt disrespected at this point. Like, wow, really? Like, you have not seen the success that I've had with Daily Wire? And now you're trying to tell me how to do things? That's why Jeremy said when he was breaking down the contract, Jeremy was like, man, look, he's done a great job in doing what he does, but he's never run a corporation of people like we got 250 people. I think he said we got like 250 people to take care of here. So he was comparing that. He was like, now you're trying to tell me how to do my job? So this right here is like it sounds like Steven is just saying, look, we don't have to kiss their butts in order to win. Everybody can still win and we can still say what we want to say and talk about what we want to talk about, period. Just follow me in this right here. Let's work that part out. How about that? We turn this thing around a little bit. Let's work on that. He's like, no. He could never see it because right there, Jeremy was looking at this from his ego eye, and that's it, man. He feels challenged like crazy. This is big, man.
And by the way, before some of you ask for this, look, there's always personal information on phone calls. And for the record, I've recorded 3 people on phone calls in my life. All 3 are involved with big tech. Just to be clear, the entire call transcript has been sent to others to verify without hopefully having to release the whole thing. And I'll be on Tim Pool's show, I believe, on Monday.
Oh, my gracious. Lover of Jesus and humanity. I never thought that. Lover of Jesus and humanity said the only thing about this is, did Jeremy know he was being recorded? Because Crowder did. So Crowder could steer the conversation as he wanted to say. That is so true. Crowder can say whatever he wants. He knows he's recording it. He knows that he might need this later as well, not need it, but it could be useful. It could be useful because they're both. Don't be mistaken if you look at this as Jeremy and the Daily Wire being the only party in this who are about the money grab. They are not. Steven Crowder is definitely about that money grab. He's about that bag. That's why he's like, nah, man, no, forget that. It is about the money, but it's not only about the money for Steven Crowder. As a matter of fact, it is about the money to Jeremy Boring, but it's not only about the money for him either. But if he had the FU money to tell big tech, we don't need you anymore, then he would do that. But he don't feel like he's at that point where he needs to be yet. I'm sure he has a number, but he's looking at all these people he pay and all these people who are signed the contracts already. And he can't just flip the ties right now because they are already signed to these contracts. Like this business model is already set up. And I don't know if he can change it right away, but it's different, man. This thing is big. This thing is big. Pause. Okay. I tried
to talk about it. Now, this is something else that's been brought to my attention. Look, some people have been sent out from Daily Wire and have gotten very personal. Obviously, when we released this video, we didn't name names, and I told you there are a lot of people in the space who have made offers, and it is true. There are quite a few, and there are some others that have been pretty similar to this. This isn't an incredibly unique scenario, but there have been some good people out there too, and we're still talking with them. So I do know that some people from Daily Wire have come out, maybe been instructed to. I have no idea. I don't care. And they've gotten very personal. I don't want to do that. At least I didn't want to. But now it's sort of necessary
Oh my God. He said he didn't want to get personal, but now he has to. So he about to say some personal sugar honey iced tea about whichever of the Daily Wire goons who stepped up front to say something to him first. This dude, he's about to start dropping bombs on everybody. He's about to turn into the Eminem of politics. We about to see this, man.
For me to do so. So these are the only personal things I will say about the people at Daily Wire. Andrew Klavan is one of my favorite people of all time. He has an unbelievable skill to make you feel like the smartest guy in the room, even though I guarantee you he's smarter than you. There are very few people whose company I enjoy more than Andrew Klavan. Jordan Peterson is not only a friend, I would go to the wall for him. He's a guy who has changed the landscape of our country for the better. Can't say enough good things about him. Ben Shapiro is possibly the smartest person I know. That's as personal as I'll get. Now, here's the thing. Only after that final call, after negotiations had followed through, pleading on the side of principle and knowing that it was completely met with deaf ears, did I come out like I did? See, here's the thing. Daily Wire, they keep talking about a business. Well, I walked away from the table because I'm talking like it's about a country, about a movement. And this is the thing. The response that I've heard over the years is not just now. I've been doing this for a long time. You constantly hear, it's just business. It's just business. Well, guess what? It's not to me. Sure, I run a business, but it's not just business. And let me ask you, when have you ever heard someone say it's just business when they're doing the right thing? Ever hear someone give $250,000 to charity and say it's just business? And here's something that I would like to ask you, because I know that they've tried to play the identity politics and misrepresent the whole financial situation. But yeah, over the course of 4 or 5 years, the total operational budget, meaning 25, 30 employees, all of the costs, security, health insurance, would have been somewhere in the $50 million ballpark for that total operational budget. That is true. Okay. First off, I think it's a good thing for conservative companies out there to be generating or capable of generating far more than that. It'd be better than just Disney and just Netflix and just Hulu Plus. And I'd like the people who are in charge of that to be people who are willing to walk away from that if it comes with strings attached, with people who hate everything you stand for. So let's take that at face value, okay? I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? Put yourself in my shoes. What would it take? How much do your principles matter to you? What kind of a headspace would you have to be in to walk away full stop from $50 million?
That's a great damn question. That's something that Dave Chappelle had to do. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to consider. There's a whole lot to consider. I think Steven Crowder is much smarter than that, though. I don't think he's. I think him trading away his likeness to a company for 4 years is not a smart move business-wise for Steven Crowder, because he is too big for that. Especially with him having to water himself down, not be himself for 4 years. He's already made it to a space where he plays by his own rules. He's not ready. He don't want to play by anybody else's rules and miss and lose out on money while doing so. If he's going to lose out on money while doing what he does on a daily basis, he might as well do it himself rather than do it for someone else for a higher ticket that might even drop down to less than what he make right now, which he won't have any control over because that will all be their money. They have the control to dock him, to dock his pay for everything. Right now, no one has control over his money right now. So I don't care how he tries to paint it like this is the best thing for my heart to do. No, I don't think. I think this is all logical to him, and kudos to him because I think he's winning. I think you're on top of it. I think Steven Crowder is a smart mofo for real. For real. But when you're looking at this as a just straight business deal, it's lopsided. And Steven Crowder is bringing forward. People just look at that bottom line of 50 million and they're like, dude, only thing you got to do is shut your mouth and not say certain things. Just don't be yourself for 4 years. You can do that, right? You can do that, right? Can you do that? Can you do that? And all you do, and you just got obligations to us too. You got to do a film every single year. You got to do Q&A every month. You got to do, like, you got to read the ads that we say read when we say read them. This dude has been a boss for a long time, for a really long time. He's been doing this for an extremely long time. He don't want to be an employee. He's like, I'm good. And Jeremy Boring was saying he act like he's some self-made man, but he's not. Yes, he is. Just because you worked with a conglomerate to get to the point of your success does not mean you're not a self-made man, in my opinion. Because he is the one that like made these moves he made. He made decisions he made. He is the talent that we see. He is the name. He is the brand. So yes, he is a self-made. What he's doing and him being banned and stuff, nobody did that to him, and nobody is doing this for him. He was working with companies who were who equally benefited the same as him. So don't take that away from him and try to act like, no, he didn't do this himself. He worked with Blade and he with Blaze and he worked with this. Nobody cares about that.
Let me ask you even further. What would it take for you to be willing to walk away from at least $50 million because of it causing harm to someone else that doesn't even affect you? But the next kid. I've talked about this, you have it in comedy. I'm never going to be the guy who pulls the ladder up after me. What motivates me is not money. Of course, everyone here likes nice things. They want to make a living. You've heard me say this many times. I want to pass the torch. I want there to be someone else to do this. It can't happen if this is how our movement is structured. And you know that, by the way, this could do irreparable damage to the movement, the country, and the people who've fought so hard for the ground gained if we've decided to get in bed with these people who want to strip it away. I'm asking, would you walk away? What would it take for you to walk away from $50 million? Because it's true. That's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I'm doing. And so long as these contracts out there include enforcement of big tech, of punishing conservative creators on behalf of the people we claim to fight and the people who have long since demonetized us and can't stand me, and part of me doesn't blame them. As long as these contracts include that, not even for me, but the next person, I wouldn't take $1 billion. And certainly not if you understand in context, when behind closed doors, I know, and these people know, and acknowledge exactly what's being done to the next generation of creators.
Bench talent, young talent, they don't get deals like this.
So they don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand.
That you then own.
Well, I own parts of it. I don't own it. They can, when their contract's up, they can still go out and they'll still be famous. They can keep doing their shows, so go do a show somewhere else. They'll be in a far, far, far better place. You helped make them.
No, not long as this contract.
He said you helped make them.
This contract owns it in perpetuity even after the contract. You're paying a lease but getting ownership. That's what this contract reads.
On the content that we paid to produce, yes.
Look, I understand there are going to be differing opinions on this.
And he did say that. He said on the content that they paid to produce, Yeah, you're never going to own that. That's us. And that's the dangerous part. What if you don't already have a Facebook group with under your name, or merch under your name, or any other things that you want to expound on? You want to start doing skits or something. They can take your name and put it on everything imaginable that could potentially be created within the next 4 years, especially if you're fast tracked, especially if you're a great talent, especially if you have like you got this superstar, thing about you. They're gonna package so much stuff around you that, yeah, you're gonna be a star. But if you walk away, whether you walk away or not, this is ours. This is ours. This sounds like Hollywood. This sounds like what these filming companies do to these young Hollywood stars. Like, yeah, you're wealthy and you're doing well in life, but you're not happy at all. You don't own anything. You're still beholden to somebody who owns you. There's people out there, even when you're daggone dead and gone, you have people with their hands in your pockets. What type of? But hey, in order to get that big, you got to be a shark, and everybody can't get with that. Like, everybody can't play that game. Jeremy's a shark. Steven's a shark. Not everybody can play that game.
I understand that. As someone who does run a business and has to I think maybe 25 employees, I don't know, we're expanding. I understand people run businesses differently and have different priorities. Here's the thing. I would genuinely still, Daily Wire, Jeremy, love to sit down at the table and explain to you how you can make all of this work, how you can scale what we do and not have to be beholden to the people who we all go out and claim that we're fighting, and especially with all of the financial resources that you have, which, by the way, are very impressive. And by the way, since fielding requests for people who've sent this in you guys are under these kinds of contracts, right? You've sent in your emails. If you're looking to either join a network or looking to navigate these contracts, we've been flooded. I'm going to try and get to all of you. But here's the thing. Let me give you my word right now, my word. Everyone, you can timestamp it, call me on it. Here at Mug Club, we will never take any ownership over your social media platforms or your channels, and I don't want a dime ever of your YouTube revenue. You make your own decision as to whether you want to be monetized or not. Some people want to, some people don't. I just have a problem with requiring.
Okay, so I like the fact that he addressed all of this, but the same thing he did on the last video, he did a commercial. That's what Steven Crowder did. He did a commercial, and no matter that's exactly what it is. It's another way of promoting what he wants to do. So he's very intelligent, and I'm learning, but he's extremely intelligent, where he make it seem like it's about the people, but it's really a competition between he and Daily Wire. He make it seem like, yo, we can sit down and talk, and I can tell you how we can do all of this and still not have to give in to big tech. And then he starts to address anybody that wants to come work with him. And then he tells them the difference, the benefits, the added value of working with him rather than working with them. So that right there is the commercial. That's the ad right there. He knows how many views he's going to get. It would be foolish of him not to do an ad, especially if this is something that he's already moving forward with. And like somebody mentioned inside of my chat, he has created Stop Bitcoin back in December. So, or was it 3 months ago? My bad. October or December, one of those. So this was already in motion. So, but I thought this is what I thought. I thought this happened like the day after he received that contract, because y'all have to remember too, when he received that contract, he said that he was so floored by it that, like, I don't know if it was that day or the next day, he did something big to move toward his next, you know, goal. And whatever that case may, whatever that is, I don't know. But like real Doc Brown has said before, I don't want to listen to no rich people yelling about their millions, complaining about their and debating about their millions, and yeah, me neither. But I do think this is I think it's a cool story to have some information about. It teaches you a little bit. But y'all feel free to let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments. All right, love y'all, peace out.